Hi guys, and welcome back to Ben's Home Video, where today we're looking at Arrow Video's 4K restoration of Flatliners. In short, stunning. If you don't want to watch anymore, end it there. It is stunning. Yeah, so it's got the new artwork by Gary Pullin, someone correct me, which I love. I'm not sure you can see, but it's got like a little bit of a foil bit there. And then, as always, it's got the reversible artwork. So what I tend to do is, if it's got like a slip cover or like a hard shell case type thing, hard card case, that I sometimes do, I tend to have the new artwork on the slip, obviously, and then reverse that, so I've got best of both worlds. Disc is pretty plain. Also comes a little booklet, not much. It's got some nice info in, actually. It's one of their better little books, to be honest. No, their big books are always good. So a couple of technical specs. It's been restored by Sony themselves from the original camera negative. So as most people will probably know, that's the one that you want to be restoring from. As generally, it's the best quality one. Every time it gets printed from a different one, time and time again, it gets worse and worse and worse. The audio restoration was from the original 35mm magnetic strips as well. I think it was stereo at the time, and they've made it into a 5.1 surround, which is a DTS 5.1 master audio surround, should I say. So the bit rate for this is high. It kind of stays around the 70 and 90 mark most of the time, but it peaks around 105, 106, which is incredible, really. But you can tell there's been a lot of love put into this restoration, and I think Sony and Arrow all deserve the plaudits for it, because visually you ain't getting a better version of this film ever. So I've never seen it before, but apparently the Blu-ray and the DVD have always been a bit soft and fuzzy and shit. So the film grain in this is very stable, gives it a nice organic filmic look. There are times where it's noisier, that's the right word, than kind of the majority of the film, but I feel like it's almost intended to be, because it makes it kind of, it's in like more dreamy type sequence, so to speak. It works, it works. So apparently the Blu-ray has always been a little bit blurry. This was crisp around the edges, very clean edges. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better presentation. The HDR and the wide colour gamut are very apparent in this, like almost to the point of almost looking a little bit too fake, but I feel like that was the director's intent, because there's a lot of surreal stuff going on in this film. So the reds and the blues really bright, but it works, it really works. Like, I never felt anything looked wrong at any point. Like there's a bit at the beginning as well which looks beautiful, but it's probably a little bit, maybe not oversaturated, but a bit too strong, where Kiefer Sutherland's kind of standing near harbour, and it's like bathing like burnt orange kind of light, and it just looks beautiful, but maybe slightly unrealistic, but it works for the film. So the DTS 5.1 Master Audio Surround track is great. I personally would have preferred the dialogue to be a little bit more kind of in the mix, because it's quite set back. That's my personal preference. You know, yours could be that you love it. That's the only kind of gripe I had with it. And I'm not sure if this was that I got used to how they were talking, or it just wasn't as clear at the beginning. First 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so, I did struggle a little bit with what people were saying. But after that, no problem whatsoever. But again, is that I just got used to it, or that there was actually a minor problem with it in the first kind of 15 minutes. But the surrounds I use when needed, and used to great effect as well. Like, I don't want to give it spoilers actually, so I won't bother saying when. But when it needs to be used, it's used, and it's used well. But it is a nice front heavy kind of soundtrack most of all, because it's obviously a lot of talking. But yeah, really rate it. And whoever did the mix on that, as I said, other than maybe the first 50 minutes, done a great job. Works well for the film. I don't listen to the 2.0 soundtrack because I don't care. I know I should, but I don't. So I've no clue if it's the original theatrical one or like a dumbed down version of the 5.1 that they've done. Whatever. If you've got 2.0, tough shit. The bass was pretty good as well. No like super rumbly, but you didn't need it for that film. Yeah, it worked. So for the presentation, I give this a 4.5 out of 5. Just that first 50 minutes of audio let it down for me. But that is a solid score. So my personal thoughts on the film was, well, I avoid trailers, spoilers. I look at little synopsises just to give me an idea of films. But if I don't know anything about it, that's better for me. So I try to go in as blind as possible. I'd never seen this film. I always wanted to, and I knew it was obviously to do with flatlining and then coming back. But yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I expected maybe a less serious film, but it was a really good psychological horror, and I'm surprised it hasn't gone down kind of almost as a cult classic even. I don't think it's that. It's really good, and I'm surprised it isn't a normal classic. You know, cast are great. Keith Sutherland, William Baldwin, Julia Roberts, and of course Kevin Bacon. Who can forget Kevin Bacon? And Oliver Platt, but no, I don't really care about him. But although actually he's brilliant in this. Yeah, great psychological horror that should be talked about more, should be watched more. Brilliant. So even if you can't get your hands on the 4K or don't want to, if it's streaming anywhere, watch it. I really recommend it. So as always, thanks for watching, guys.